What's up? What's up? What's up? Live and direct, living color, if you will. Ryan Inman. And down here, we're having some technical difficulties with our guest, Vaughn. Do you pronounce that Lekan?
Lekan, yeah, you're close.
Close enough. We'll go with Vaughn. It's a lot easier. Well, Vaughn is the owner of Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse. I knew I'd fuck that up. I have it written down, and I knew I'd fuck that up. The whole time on the show last week, anytime we brought you up, I called it Chippewa Lake. Chippewa.
You got it right there.
No, I got it right then. See, I'm fucking it up after I fix it. But anyway, Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse and Nightmare Cleveland Haunted House. And he's having a little problems with his video, so we got it on the audio through the phone, and hopefully you could hear him good. And his haunt is actually open tonight, so he's going to be on here for about a half hour here or so, and then he's going to get on with what he's doing. He's still on, though, even though his little video still popped up. So anyway, how you doing tonight, Vaughn?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks for taking the time. We really appreciate it. We know that haunt season is extremely busy for a haunt owner, and you guys got a lot going on, especially with the two haunts in town. So how long have you been in this game, and what made you get started in it?
That's funny. So I started looking back in 2007, 2008 for properties. I live in Medina area, so trying to find something locally was kind of hard to find something. Went down to St. Louis to the big haunt conventions, into it, and just came down to finding the right property. As a kid, my mom used to take me up to I think any house before they knocked it over back in the day was a haunted house. So they'd open the doors, charge $7. You'd walk through it, and if you were lucky to make it through it, you felt like the floors were going to fall out from underneath you. Don't even get any scarier than that.
Like condemned places.
I'll tell you what, man, I was that little kid that would go through bawling my eyes out, holding on to my mom, and then I get outside, wipe my tears, and I'd say, "Let's go again." There was just something weird about it. I loved them.
That's funny because that's how I was with horror movies when I was a kid. I was deathly afraid of them, but I always watched them, and I couldn't stop watching them.
There's something about it, man. There's just something about it. So.
Right on. So is this so did you work as an actor before you owned a haunt?
Yeah, as a kid, like I said, grew up in Medina County, which is actually, I grew up in small town Hinckley on the north end of Medina counties, and we had the old Hinckley Haunted Hollow. It was an outdoor haunt, and I couldn't wait after doing my chores on the farm to get down there and be like a little roamer. And they put me in one of those little brown robes. It looked like one of those little guys that run around and collect the robots on Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I ran around, did that, and I remember hiding in every little nook and cranny I could and scaring people, and really loved it. I mean, I remember a couple times, big biker guy picked me up one time, and all of his friends, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking this one home," and I'm screaming, "Let me go!" I'll tell you, I still stuck with it though. It was a lot of fun.
Right on. That's funny. You said Haunted Hollow. I worked at the Haunted Hollow on Brook Park when I was a teenager.
Brook Park, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I worked there for a couple of weeks. I thought it was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun doing it. I wish I could do more of it. And it's a blast. It was a blast doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking back then. There was only a few in the. Every Friday, the Friday magazine for Plain Dealer would come out. And it was like the Sears catalog for Christmas. Going through that thing and looking at all the cool visions and all the art design and everything, and what haunt was open. And you had Hudson Haunted House. And
yeah, Hudson was big.
Blood View and all those. I thought that was the coolest thing back then. I couldn't wait to look at that magazine on Friday.
Right on, right on. Let's see. So how did you decide on the location for the Slaughterhouse?
So, that just came about by accident. It was, like I said, I started looking on 07, 08, and then I kind of put it aside for a little while. I have landscape excavation company for my day job. So I was plowing one day real quick, and I came home, and the truck was still running outside. It was a real snowy day, I remember, in March, and I saw a property on commercial real estate came up, and it was just south of Medina in Chippewa Lake. I was like, man, that's right down the street. I'm going to run down there. So literally ran down there in my plow truck, pulled in there, and holy crap, I could have sold tickets the first day I walked in that place. It was as scary and creepy as you can imagine. It was meant to be. It was an old abandoned slaughterhouse that had been abandoned for 25 years, I was told.
Mm-hmm.
The owner was trying to sell it. They were thinking about knocking it over, like completely dozing it over. And
Oh, wow. It's a good thing you got there before they did that.
No kidding, right? So yeah, just worked out the deals with them. It was actually a little bit of a headache trying to get it, only because of the realtors and the attorneys involved. But I ended up sitting down with the owner himself. It was probably like 9 months later. I said, listen, this is getting out of hand. I really would like to buy this place. What's it going to take? We sat down and talked for about an hour in his office. And by the end, I shook his hand and I wrote him a check for a deposit on the place and bought it in early 2015.
Right on. So the place has like a sort of a Texas Chainsaw feel and theme to it. Is that because you were a big fan of the movie, or is that more because of the fact that it was a slaughterhouse?
You know what? It was a combination. It was I think that what brought it together. As a kid, I remember, it was when the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie ever came out. I remember watching it from the corner. My dad was watching it, and I think he'd rented it on VHS that weekend with my mom, and I was hiding around the corner. I was the only one of 4 kids that was up watching it from the corner. My dad out of nowhere yelled out, he's like, "You're not going to sleep tonight." And I stood up and I was like, I'm kidding. So I ran in and talked, sat with them, and then, I was always locked on that movie ever since. So you couldn't ask for a better, written or shot from through a video. I mean, it just was perfect. The graininess and everything was awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so intense, and there's everybody thinks it's like one of the goriest movies ever. But if I'm not mistaken, they use 7 cups of blood in the whole movie.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. There's some amazing behind the scenes, info on that just would blow your mind. It was just a creep factor. It was amazing.
Camera cuts make
that.
Yeah, the camera cuts in the movie. Yeah.
He
totally made it.
He used a lot of innovative cuts in photography to make it creepier than it actually was.
Yeah, for sure. But I just, after I saw the Slaughterhouse, again, going through all the local haunts, I just thought, I'm not putting them down. I love them all. They're all staples in the industry, and I'd still go to them today if I wasn't working every weekend in October. But, I just felt like they were getting a little stale. Nobody was changing anything. It was the same show year after year after year, and not that was a bad thing. It's just there was too much. I don't know. I just saw like a lot of different variety in there, and I thought, it'd be really cool to, I don't know, maybe to bring people into like a whole, world of a family that actually lives there. I thought that'd be kind of neat. So, my head wrapped around it, and but I also realized you can't put, 29 butchers in a building running around either. You gotta still have that haunted house feel to it,
Right.
So, that's where it all came from. I'm really happy with the turnout the first year. It was extremely raw. It was nowhere where I wanted it to be, but man, I was down to my last dollar. I'm not gonna lie, and I was going all in, and I had a lot of great reviews for the few people that went through it, and then it was the year after that Rick Thomas came to me because he had been sitting idle from Fear Experience, and he found out through a friend of ours, mutual friend, that I was, I could use some help. And I had no experience in the haunt industry at all. I mean, I was taking on a big, big property, and for someone that's never been in the industry, it was definitely a big bite to take. So.
Right on. See, one thing I noticed about both of your places is, like you kind of alluded to, that you are walking through like it's a whole experience. Like where other haunts is like you have your clown room, then you have your your doll room, and this was like walking through a movie. Both of them were, and and I really dug that, man. It was like like you don't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, that's when Rick, again, at first, I remember the first day he came down, and if you know the building, it was dead center of the building, a big slide, garage door, and I'm sitting there, standing in the door, and he's standing out on the outside. He introduced himself, and I said, told my whole story about the place, my idea, my theme, and I said, if you're interested in going further, then come through this door. This is
Nice.
what I want to do. If not, if you want to turn it into a fear experience or something else, then I'm not the guy for you.
Right.
And then he walked through there and he was like, dude, I love your ideas. But the problem is I grew up in a family industry where we remodeled commercial property and such, where he's like, I could tell you have OCD problems. Everything was like, the bedroom scene the beds were like almost neatly against the wall and everything. They were messed up and bloody, but they were neat. And he's like, well, it doesn't look like a inbred family lives here. So he was pointing out all these little details. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So he helped me drastically on, just distressing it and taking it to that next level. So
yeah, he's an extremely creative guy. We had him on to talk about Nightmare Cleveland.
Yeah.
And, that went really well, I think. Yeah. So the pig that's in the haunt, does he have a name?
Just Piggy.
Just Piggy. That dude is the shit. I was wondering if you ever considered doing photo ops with him, because I'd pay to take a picture with that guy. It was just so cool.
That was originally Rick's character from day one.
Okay.
And so there's a long story with that, but to summarize it up, I actually have two outfits. I have the clean version, and I have the version that Rick distressed and bloodied up, and the one that he uses. And then one of his friends, TJ, took over that position, and he does a great job. He's been doing it for a couple of years now. So, but yeah, it's he actually started going out by the merch booth at the end of the haunt towards the parking lot, and he's been out there doing some pictures, and people love him.
Oh yeah, I missed out on that then. But yeah, I bought a T-shirt with the pig logo on the back, but I would have rather had one with the character from the haunt on it.
Yeah,
because he was just super cool, man.
Yeah, we tried. Right now, obviously, the family to me is the most important to tell the story and to keep that alive. We do have plans for every year doing like a one-off for that year only, or maybe 2 shirts only, where it's possibly another character or 2 characters for that year only. So, a lot of people come there every year. They love it. We have a cult following now. We still get, obviously, a ton of people that have never been there before, but, we've got our cult following, and they hey, I got that shirt. I got that one. What's new? So, we're not buying hundreds of thousands of T-shirts and selling them.
Right.
It's not a big business for us, but it's kind of cool to get it out there, and people are starting to recognize it. They go to a bar or a restaurant or just out and about, walk around like, oh, I've been there, I've seen that, I've even I've been there. It's pretty cool. I'm like, hey, thanks. So,
yeah, one thing that I would have liked as far as the merch goes is pretty much the same shirt I do have, but on a work shirt style shirt. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny he said that, because I can kind of relate to that myself. Back, I used to be in the music business like 20 years ago. And the first time I saw somebody I didn't know out in the wild wearing one of my band's T-shirts, I felt so awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. What's that?
That's a great feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely. Awesome. And like, I walked up to him and said, "Nice shirt," and he didn't even know who I was. That made it even greater.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right on. So, how the hell did you get that wrecked plane in the backyard there?
How did you get the what?
The wrecked plane.
Oh, the plane. Oh, shit. Here we go. So, leave it to Rick and I have, we're how do we say, he's my haunt wife.
Nice.
And he spends all my money. So let's just start with that. He knows that way, because I call him that. But hey, we, like any relationship, we have, we have our disagreements, but we get along awesome. We become like brothers, and you have to. We're certainly 2 personalities. He's extremely talented. I've got some great ideas. I'm not in a band. I haven't been in the haunt industry for 20-some years like him, but I do have some good ideas, and it's I like to get him out there. I'm trying to make a name for myself. But he texted me. It was right after, I want to say 2019 season, 18. I can't remember now. I think it was after 2019. He sends me an image of an airplane that's for sale in Lorain County. So I call him right away, and I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do with this? I'm like, what is this? He's like, I always wanted to do an airplane wreck scene. I'm like, how am I going to incorporate that at the Slaughterhouse? I'm like, no, So he's laughing about it. And he's like, whatever. I'm not exaggerating. And this is how all of our conversations go. 10, 15 minutes, I call him back. I go, listen, let's go look at it. I have an idea. So he was like, yes, awesome. So I went out there. We get out there on the way. We're talking. I said, listen, well, the whole idea of the inbred family, had to start somewhere, and I thought, well, it'd be a great way to, the family maybe got a hold of some type of hazmat material, injected it into the meat, blah, blah, blah. And, that's the storyline we'll kind of go with, and we'll do this crash scene. You could have asked for a better situation, because that plane is the one out of the Netflix series Wild Wild Country, where that love guru back in 81 to 86 was trying to take over Oregon. There was a town in Oregon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard something about it being something about a documentary in that plane, but yeah.
Yeah, the guy's name was Vaughn Rajneesh or something.
Okay.
And he was, this guy that would just stand there with his hands together, and everybody fell in love with him. But that plane is in that video. That's his plane, and that's the story. And they actually tried to poison the town when they weren't getting their way back in the early 80s.
Oh, I know that story. They poisoned a bunch of salad bars and stuff.
Together with the story, right?
Yeah.
What was that, Ryan?
They poisoned like a bunch of salad bars and stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. That's crazy. I got to check that out.
Yeah, I know that. They have there's an episode of Forensic Files about it.
Crazy. But yeah, that was wild, man. Like, so we get through the haunted house, and then you got that whole scene afterwards with the, the graveyard, and then the plane, and then all that. And it was like it was almost like a whole other attraction. It was really cool. And I took my wife the night we went, and she got so scared she peed herself a little. But yeah, we had a great, awesome time. You had a fake snake right when you were going to walk in the line, and that was getting everybody. I don't know, there's like a little rubber snake on the floor.
Isn't that funny? That silly, stupid little thing has been there for a couple years, and I keep moving it around, and it's still there. I think its head's finally falling off right now.
I was like, I don't know if that's real or dead, or it's either fake or dead, but it's and then she was like, well, pick it up and find out. And I said, I'm not doing that.
So all the money I have wrapped up in both these haunts, and all I do is buy a fucking snake, rubber snakes, and put them out. But
who would have thought? Who would have thought? Right on.
Yeah, right.
What else? So, how much do your haunts? Do the haunts change from year to year?
So
I know at Nightmare Cleveland last year was its first year, and it was only like a half of what it is now. But so as far as like the Slaughterhouse, how much has it changed from last year, from the year before?
The first 3 years obviously are huge changes because it was still in the building phase.
Mm-hmm.
That's the downside to the industry, and I would almost say anything in general. The world we live in now is the world of gluttony. People want more and more and more and more and more, and it's just like, we put a lot of people through there. I only put so many people through the Slaughterhouse. I don't allow it to just be unlimited sales. It's
right. That's what Ryan ran into with the sellout last week.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're only in 6 weekends. You're trying to make your money for 12 months of expenses on that place. So the point is we don't make that much money in that industry. It's really kind of tough. Cleveland was built to put more volume through for that reason, to try and make a few bucks.
Right.
But the point, to get back to your, the growth, the first 3 years, I didn't make $1. I actually was in the red for, I was for a while constantly putting money back into the place. And then I talked to Rick. I was like, hey, man, I appreciate all the help you've given to me. We got to do another haunt. I need to do one more to try and start making some money. You've been part of this since day one. You busted your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You're having the ideas on what you want to maybe build up there. I'll kind of give you the reins on this one. And he's like, oh, I'd love to do a laboratory theme, blah, blah, blah. And, so I was like, all right. And we sat and talked about it. And I kind of let him come up with all the ideas and let him go with it. And he did a wonderful job up there. But I said, we ain't going to be able to do anything with Slaughterhouse for a few years. It's going to have to sit there. So it's hard to grow those things and change them drastically every year. Things aren't cheap. Props are not cheap.
Oh, no doubt.
I built Nightmare Cleveland during COVID. If anybody remembers, prices were 3 times. I mean, I paid 3 times the amount for wood.
Oh, yeah.
It's just everything in general. It was, yeah, it was very expensive. It was a tough time to do it, but I had to do it, push through it. So, but yeah, we're thinking every couple of years, detail changes, possibly a new room or two, or change a room or two, or adding some cool things. Again, I think it's about the details moving forward. Simple things like lights flashing, horns beeping, steam blowing out of certain areas, the bus scene having more, interaction back there with that bus. If you've been there with the kids, stuff like that. I think more people enjoy the entertainment value versus, just keep adding rooms and rooms.
Oh, no doubt. Like you somebody might get upset if it changes too much, because it's like
too much.
It's kind of like seeing like I'm really into horror movies and I like to watch the same ones over and over again. So
yeah,
guilty.
Here's the thing too. I remember the very first year I opened, a fellow from the Akron Beacon Journal came out and did I think he's Craig or Greg, but he did an interview with me, and I came out of he's like, I'll meet you down there I'll call you when I pull in. He pulls in. I hurry up and put on the Grandpa Carver outfit, walked outside and did the interview as Grandpa Carver.
Oh, nice.
Really? Yeah, he laughed. He thought that was really clever, and I go, the whole point of this is to try and make it as real as possible and keep it that way. I don't do a lot of goofy videos. I don't do any, just I kind of stay away from that. Try to keep it as realistic as possible. But the family's constantly going to evolve. There's going to be possibly a few characters dying off. We may include that into the season when you're actually going through and you witness it. I don't know. There's things we've been talking about, but there's going to be new characters born. These families. They're a bunch of they're inbreeding in there, man. They're a bunch of horny old people. So, so that's the good thing about it. It can constantly evolve in that way, in that sense.
Hell yeah! See, one thing I really liked about that haunt is all of the misdirection scares that there were. I mean, man, they really got you where they would, hey, look over here, but don't pay attention to what's going on over there, and then like, bam, you were just all messed up.
Yeah, that was well executed.
You have no idea. I put up probably another 5 or 7 mannequins. I'm trying to always keep adding them every year, and I truly believe, because when I went through the haunts, I thought the same thing. I'm like, what can you do to draw that attention and get that scare right from the side? Get some type of reaction that. That with a counter reaction. So yeah, that crossed my mind often. I remember when, I act pretty much every night. I have since day one, only to the last couple nights have I kind of taken it easy, but I've got a guy that replaced me. But I remember a couple of nights vividly when I was working, there was just some big biker guys walking through, and I came out of nowhere as Grandpa Carver and scared them, and the guys were like, they got startled. They weren't scared. They're not afraid. I get it. But they got startled and they were like, you fucker, you got me. I'm like, yep. And then they laughed and they had a good time. So I always say, if I can't scare you, I want to at least startle you or have you laugh. I mean, you got to have fun going to these things. It's purely entertainment. And I wanted to start off by saying with you, Rick, because I've heard you more, you keep saying how fun, this was great. I really appreciate you just, talking about this as entertainment. It's only entertainment, it's just go out and have a good time. A lot of these people that write reviews are taking this way too serious. It's like, come on, people, it's just for entertainment.
Right. And here's the thing, like I said, Texas Chainsaw is one of my favorite franchises. So to me, getting there, it was like literally walking through the movie, and it was just amazing. And the music you use in the thing is I told somebody, I don't know if maybe it was in the message I first sent you, I'd love to buy a CD of the soundtrack that you guys have. The music is so perfect.
You mentioned that to me too.
Right. And as I'm walking in, because after you go through the line, you have to go through like a little walk up to the actual haunt.
Yeah.
It's not like, out of line and then you're through a door. So you get this whole like where you just get sucked into this experience walking up to the place. And as I'm walking up, they're playing my favorite song of all time, which is Sleepwalk. It's my absolute favorite song of all time. I love it like so much. And then it just like takes you into this whole vibe, man. And just like you're like no longer are you at a haunted house, like you were fucking there in Texas, and you're going through, like it starts with that, the whole like diner scene thing, and then just insane.
Yeah, I appreciate you pointing all those details out. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We have a lot of people that make that comments. If you try to get people to move through there as quickly as possible, so you're not causing the conga lines, but you get a lot of people that are in there that really want to see the detail, and there is extremely amount of detail, especially up in Nightmare Cleveland. The boys, the crew that's up there right now, the artists that are up there just completely knocked it out of the park up there. It's the detail's incredible. It was actually probably a lot of our tears along the way that everybody's kind of up each other's asses about the detail, but we got it done. We got it done up there. So
yeah, it's beautiful. I got a comment here from My Flippin' Life, whoever that is on YouTube. I think he says that building doesn't get any less creepy no matter how much you're there. Grandpa Carver.
I gotta say too, I have an appointment I gotta get to, but I do want to add this before I go.
Okay.
The actors at Nightmare Cleveland were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be performance-wise the best group of actors I've ever seen in a haunt.
I'll pass that on. Trust me, that's huge. I got a great group down at Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse. There's a lot of veterans been with me every year. I only had a few, maybe new faces, 5 or 7 new faces every year that we need to. We're really stacked this year. Finally, it's hard to keep people, man. Life happens. It's hard to commit every Friday and Saturday.
Well, that brings me to my next question. How many actors do you have at both places? Ryan's got to get out of here. He's got an appointment.
Before I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Saints on the money line. Michael Thomas gets a touchdown.
Right on, dude. We got a thing going where he's predicted every week on Thursday Night Football, and he's been right every week. So we had to get that in there. So it's on wax. But yeah, so do you have any plans for doing an off-season haunt in either one of them?
So what we're trying to do right now is we're actually going to get a laser tag events going up in Cleveland.
Dude, I swear to God, I was going to suggest that to you. I was going to say, I don't know how you would be able to make it work, but that would be the coolest thing if I'm walking through there with a laser gun.
Yeah, it's if you obviously talk to Rick, he's a huge gamer, so I am not. But my son and Gavin and Rick are huge gamers, but so a lot of his design up there was influenced by a lot of the games and such. But the conversation I had with him a long time ago was to do some type of game down at laser tag down at Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, and then I know that his friend Nick down at Fear Columbus does it, and I actually went down and played it. It was a blast. I was like a kid doing it.
Hell yeah!
We just could never make it work at Chippewa, and then when Nightmare came in, when we actually did the layout, the drawing of that, I said, this 100% has to be laid out for future, laser tag, and that's how it was designed. So we are getting ready to implement that. That will happen this upcoming season, during the year. But we're gonna take a break this year. I think on the Christmas show.
That's what somebody just commented. My Flippin' Life. That guy again says, "Cough, cough, Carver Christmas. If we only had heat."
Right. Yeah. Right. But that may happen someday too. It's amazing the things you want to do in one year and get done, but it just doesn't truly happen. It takes time, but that's what keeps it fresh too. So constantly adding something new or changing up the events, makes it new and for new, people that have been coming for years.
Right on. But so I went once this year. I'm definitely going back. I'm going to try to get down there this year. See, I have a friend that he has a podcast called Halloween Haunts 365. He's out of the South Jersey. He's out of Jersey, and he goes all over the country going to haunts. And I've been reviewing Cleveland haunts for him, so that's why I've been going. So I'm going to try like hell to get back there this year with Ryan so he could see it. And I want to take my kids, but I'm definitely going to try to get back there. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, appreciate that. Like I said, I got some great actors down at Chippewa, but we got a lot of new people up in Cleveland. I will certainly pass on what you said about, or what Ryan said about the actors up there. That's really big for them because they're, it's tough getting that many people to mesh in the first year or two. You know, it took us at least a couple, 3-4 years to get our people down at Chippewa, and like I said, down there, they're just, you know, they're just exceptional. All the actors are.
Right on. All right, Vaughn, man. So I got you here for like 32 minutes, and I told you I'd keep you here for 30. So I'm going to get you out of here until you can get to whatever you're doing. I'm sure you got something going on. You said Nightmare Cleveland's open tonight, and they're open Thursday through Sunday now, right?
Yeah, Thursday through Sunday. This week, next weekend. Let me get my dates together. And then we're open the 3rd and 4th for the blackout events, which are both at Slaughterhouse, Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, and Nightmare Cleveland. Those are a lot of fun, especially down at Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, because I mean, obviously, anybody that's been through the building is what sells that place.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's amazing. It's huge too. And the Slaughterhouse is only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Only Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, only Fridays and Saturdays.
Very limited, and we're sold out again this weekend. We have actually been sold out every night for the past 3 years, almost 4.
Fuck yeah, man!
It's a very, very limited entry. Very limited.
All right, man. So I got a video I'm going to play, but I'm going to let you get out of here. In the meantime, I'm going to play this video about the thing. But hey, thanks for coming on, and I'm gonna holler at you later, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for dealing with the technical difficulties and everything. All right, brother. Have a great night. Not your fault. We're good. Bye. All right. So we're going to play this little video of the Slaughterhouse real quick, and then, if that works right, we're going to bring on South Jersey Jason and talk a little Never Hike Alone. He's in the waiting room there. But if you guys haven't been to this one, get there, man. I mean, it's look at this shit, dude. It's fucking amazing. It's a Hollywood quality production. There's no expense. Like you can imagine how much time and effort went into this, and money. We wanted to tell them to get a barbecue stand outside of that place. It'd be like the perfect thing. All right. Yeah, so guys, definitely check that out. But right now, we're going to bring on pinch hitting for Ryan tonight because Ryan had a doctor's appointment at 8 o'clock. I don't know how things work, but that's what he has going on. And so he's got to do that. So we're going to bring on the South Jersey Jason, South Jersey Slasher. What's up, Brian?
What's going on? How are you?
Man, living the dream. I had Vaughn from Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse on, and he couldn't figure out how to log in. And we were right up against it. It's like, oh, man, we're going live at 7, and you're going to go for a half hour. I don't know. So I just put it on speaker on my phone and held it up there. Were you able to hear any of that?
Oh, yeah. I got like the last 2 minutes. And
so did it sound okay?
Oh, yeah. It sounded great. And the video was really good, too.
Yeah, it was just like at the last minute. That was my last-ditch effort to figure this out. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to throw you on fucking speaker. And he couldn't figure out the camera thing. Guy says, he's like, I can build you a whole haunt, but I can't figure out this fucking phone. It's like, right on, brother. Don't worry about it.
It is. You know, before we get into it real quick, I have a little bit of mail call today.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me, how do I do this? Hold on. If I can take myself off of blur my background. Hold on. I won't let me unblur my background.
My buddy says, bring on South Jersey Jason.
So not that you can really see it because I don't know how to unblur my background.
I can see it. I know that's the Pamela's Tale.
The elusive Pamela's Tale Part 2, which I've been looking for years just by itself. Normally, you can only get it in a set, and I'm not spending $70 to $100 for 2 comic books, and one of which I have. And then just to get Part 2, there's only a couple out there, and the prices people are asking for is ridiculous. I got this for $20. So,
hell yeah, that's a good deal. Yeah. I seen one a while ago for $20, but I don't have Part 1, and I was like, I knew I should have bought it. I knew I should have bought it because eventually I'll get Part 1 later is what I should have done.
I actually have a good amount of Jason comics. I have almost one run, so my goal is to get them all. Like I have the entire run of Jason versus Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Yeah, I want to get
Volume
that.
2.
I have none.
Volume
and I can't
1
find them
is
anywhere but online for outrageous money.
Volume 1's the expensive one. So, but yeah, so I wanted to talk about that, and then on Netflix, The Devil on Trial. It's the story of The Devil Made Me Do It.
Right, that's what I thought.
Jared and I, we had our Warren series on there.
On the Horror Shed podcast. Like, subscribe, check that out.
You. What an incredible documentary. And let me tell you, it was non-biased, and they interviewed the young brother who was possessed in the beginning, his brothers, and then Arnie, whatever his last name is, the one that actually committed the murder.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't hold back their feelings with the Warrens. They were like, they made money off of us.
Right.
And so for the book deal, the Warrens got like $90,000.
Crazy.
The family, $4,000.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a really good documentary. Cool. So check it out on Netflix. The Devil on Trial. It's an hour and a half. So.
Yeah, I just found out about it right before we went on, and I was planning on watching it, and then while I was getting ready for the thing, I also found out about there's a documentary about that torture haunted house guy.
Yeah, on Hulu. Yeah.
Yeah, and I watched a little bit of that. Like, fuck
how was it?
And the doc is good, but that dude's a piece of shit.
Is the doc like opposing him or praising him?
It's mostly opposing him. I didn't finish it.
Yeah,
there was a lot of people that went through it. Yeah, I talked to Jared. I said, "Hey, man, you should probably cover this on Haunts." And he said he'd given that guy 1 second of his time, and I was like, "Right on, dude. I get it."
Yeah, shout out to my bunny. She's a very special friend down in South Jersey. So, yep, I told her I was coming on, so she wanted to watch.
Yeah, that's the way it usually goes when you get on this thing, man. I get the best numbers when you are on here.
Shut up.
let's hope the trend continues. But yeah, I just figured we'd have you on because me and Ryan planned on doing a little review of Never Hike Alone. Mm-hmm. By our friend Vincent Disantis, the director, and he came on the show talking.
Yeah, I watched the episode. I was actually, the night you did it, I was out. Or no, where was I? I was doing something and I couldn't watch it live.
I think that's the day you went to see Exorcist.
That's right. Yeah, and I had like 2 seconds just to chime in real quick before the movie.
Right.
But it was.
What did you think of Exorcist?
If it didn't have the title of The Exorcist, it'd just be another paranormal movie.
Would that have made it better?
No.
Oh,
no.
man.
To me, okay, so it's Blumhouse, so I wasn't getting my hopes up to begin with.
Right.
And I already called it out. I don't know if we want me to be spoiler or spoiler
we don't
free.
care.
Okay.
No, anybody that's going to watch it. The two things, I wanted to ask you about that because on your pod, you said there was two things that you called.
Right.
One of them was obviously Linda Blair. You knew that was going to happen.
I knew that's going to happen.
What was the second thing?
Something was going to happen to her mom to bring her back. So, okay. I thought she was going to die, but obviously she got the next worst thing, getting her eyes gouged out.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it was a very slow burn for me.
Mm-hmm.
But once the girls were possessed, the girls did a great job. The makeup was really good on them.
Of course.
And the
the makeup was wasn't it? It was Sean's co-host from Halloween.
Oh, really? Okay, I know who you're talking about. I just don't know his name, but okay.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. But it was him because I remember them talking about it on their podcast, The Thing with Two Heads, that he was working on that movie.
Sorry, my bunny sent me a private text message.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So,
see, I liked the movie. I thought.
The movie was good.
I thought having Ellen Bernstein just shoehorned in there was just didn't really do anything for the movie. I mean, aside from fan service, like, oh, that's the girl from The Thing.
Yeah. So I'm kind of interested to see where they're going with this in the next two movies. Is it going to be like the demon dies tonight? The demon dies tonight. Yeah,
because they went like this.
Yeah, but the best kill scene though was when the neck contortion with the priest.
Yes,
that was great. I did like that.
Yeah, because you thought that when he went out to the priest, the fight's in there. Like you thought for sure that priest was coming in there to save the day. You didn't see that coming.
No, But yeah, if it didn't have the title Exorcist, it'd just be another possession movie, and it
Mhm.
would be medic horror at that. You
Yeah, I
know?
think I think in my opinion, in the next movie, if they can sign Linda Blair to do the other movies,
Oh, you know she's gonna be back. She's gotta
I
be
think
back.
she's gonna be she's going to, what did I say? That she's gonna be possessed in this movie, and then, or no, she's gonna help to fight the demon, and then in the next movie be possessed. I don't remember what I said. But I had a good idea.
Maybe in the third one she'll go out like Father Karras.
Yeah,
You know?
we'll
But,
see.
but
We'll
yeah,
see.
so all right, we talked about Exorcist, but we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk about
Alone
Never
2.
Hike Alone 2.
Now, did you watch it Friday night?
I did. I watched it Friday night, and when I had Vince on, he said, "Don't watch this movie on your phone. Watch it on a big 1080p." Oh, I did a 4K. My buddy's $4,000 TV. We went over his house. I went over there to watch it on his fancy schmancy TV. We watched Ghost Cut first because he wasn't familiar with it, so I went to bring him up to speed. And I followed Death Curse Society on the phone. They were watching it, doing a watch along. But I had them turned down because I wanted to hear the movie. But every now and then I'd slip in with a comment. Right. And like once or twice, I was a little bit ahead of them. And I think I spoiled some shit. And I was like, oh,
okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I didn't get to watch it till Sunday night.
Okay. Because you had a busy Friday the 13th weekend.
Yeah, I had a busy Friday the 13th
at the diner and at the haunted house.
Night of Terror. And then
nice.
The
I was watching you.
Thank you, sir. We're already starting to talk about Friday 13th, 2024 in September.
Yeah,
so, so I did back this film. I did enter,
I see your name in the credits.
I did enter that raffle for like either the executive producer or the prop gun.
The shotgun, yes.
I didn't see them announce it. I did not see anywhere unless I missed it. I didn't
Vince said that the raffle took place. I don't remember him saying who won or anything like that.
Okay.
But I remember him mentioning something about the raffle. I believe it was on when he was on Death Curse Society.
Okay. So, well, I know I didn't win the producer credit because I didn't see my name credit.
Yeah, no.
But yeah. So, and then when he released that Fox Paramount trailer like 2 nights before, did you see that?
I watched it, but I was watching it at work and didn't really all the way pay attention to it. But I was thinking when I was watching, I think I was watching 6. I was watching an old movie, and the Paramount thing comes up. I was like, he needs to do that with Womp Stomp, and it'd be the best. And he did.
He did. Yeah, I'm like, that's ingenious right there. And let me tell you, watching Vince's movies, you can tell he's a trained filmmaker.
Oh God, yes.
I felt like, with Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow, I'm watching I'm at the movie theater watching a studio film.
Same thing I said.
And you got these guys who, anyone can be a director and get a camera. No. There's so much more. There's a couple of fan films where you could tell there's no education in filmmaking behind them, and the cinematography is horrible. They say they color graded it, but it still looks like they just said, you know what, let's do it Ed Wood style. Okay. But from the opening with Tommy and the Dream with little Tommy, like the kid was spot on. I know little Stevie or whatever he is. I see him on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that was great. And I love how they intertwine Never Hike Alone. Like it's kind of like scenes you didn't see, but it led up to those scenes you saw in the movie. Like when Kyle saw Tommy arguing with Rick, or the Axel and the other paramedic. And here's a funny story. So when Dave Brown and I were shooting Seasons of the Huntsman, the cameraman, he wanted to watch Never Hike Alone to kind of get a feel for what we wanted. And when it came to the paramedic scene, what sucked? My bunny, don't say, I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, I ignored that. It sucked.
She's a Freddy fan now, so she's a Freddy fan. The female paramedic, that was his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, no shit.
Like, what a small world. And I think she was also the stunt coordinator for the Never Hike Alone movie too.
Right on.
So I loved how they brought Axel back and that whole storyline. And let me tell you, I felt like Ghost Jason was a beast in this film.
Yes.
Like more so than Never Hike Alone, like the first one or the second one. When he, I love, like, I guess it was a nod to the Friday 13th game when he just like leapt into the water. You know, like I felt like that was a nod to the Friday 13th game. But when he came out of the lake, that scene, that music, because Vince had commented on one of my photos on Facebook from Blairstown, and I said, Vince, kudos to you, and I love the entire movie, but my favorite scene was Jason coming out of the lake. That was great.
Yeah, no, dude, it was just amazing. Now, see, I liked the first movie. I don't want to say it was. I didn't like it. I like the concept better. How it was just something that's never been done. That, like Saw, the first Saw movie. I love it because it's just never been done. It was so different. You know what I mean? And I think with Never Hike Alone 1 was the same way with only one actor for almost the whole movie.
And people shit on that. And
no, that was great.
I love it. Here's the thing that I think separates what's hard for a fan film. Unfortunately, today's generation, they want body counts and gore.
Oh no! I mean, like even if I told him, like, even if they didn't kill the two paramedics at the end, I wouldn't have cared. I was satisfied. Like, even if no one died, like, imagine if they don't kill those two at the end and that doesn't happen, and he just gets away somehow. Like, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so, that's why a lot of people like Dave's film. It's kind of like that thin line where a lot of people love it, and then the haters like, we want more body counts. There's only like 3 deaths, but
it's only 3 guys in the movie. What do you want? And it was more than 3 because no man died.
Well, yeah, that was the implied death. Yeah.
Okay.
But it told a story. You felt bad when each one of those guys died.
Right.
And Kyle was fighting Jason. I was on the edge of my seat.
Right.
Same thing like with Tommy and everything in this one. And like when Jason went into the sheriff's office, it was kind of like a reminiscence of like Michael Myers in Part 4, like when he killed all the deputies.
Right.
You didn't see it. And shout out, I believe, Vincent Guastafari, his son, played the one deputy.
Yep.
His son has autism, if that's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's cool, because he made a post on Facebook about it, so I think that's the one with autism, and like he's like, that
that's cool stuff.
Yeah, I think he's like, I'm not sure like how far he's on the spectrum, but he did a great job, and how cool is that to be on film with your dad? Fuck, man. Okay, here's the one thing though. Ghost Jason puts 2 arrows in Tommy. I love that. That. But then the next scene, the arrows are gone.
I didn't even notice that. I was so wrapped up in the movie, I didn't really, see all that stuff,
Yeah, I gotta watch it again because when I watched the movie, I analyze everything, but then I really just wanted to pay attention.
Right.
But I want to go back and just see if there was like an Easter egg that I skipped over. But I love that Kyle. I was hoping Kyle was going to finish his story as well. And I liked how the ending where like he just went in hiatus and you have like the new guy like taking over for him. Like that was a little good nod.
The Hiker Man 5000.
Yeah.
Which he referenced in the first movie.
Yeah,
that was a great little post credit. I like that. But see, I think that this is gonna sound weird, but I think the first one was a better movie because of just how innovative it was. I mean, but I liked the second one better. You know what I mean? Because like whenever we grade movies on here, we grade them like. Sometimes I'll throw out like my grade and how much I like the movie, but sometimes I'll know that it's a dog shit movie, or I'll know that it's a good movie and it's real well done, but I just didn't like it. So usually, a lot of times I'll give it 2 different scores. But the first one, I think it was just so innovative and so different that that's why I say it's a better movie.
Everything about Never Hike Alone was different, like the look of Jason.
Yeah,
like a lot of people don't like that. I love the look of Ghost Jason.
I love it because I think it would have got hated on if you'd have thrown him in a Part 6 cosplay. You know, you had to make them your own.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
and every director has done that.
Yeah. And you know, like Vince, like I don't know how much Vince did in this one. I mean, obviously in the first one it was all him.
Yeah.
And Never Hike in the Snow, I think he did like we'll say like 80%.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was only 20-minute movie. This, you know, hour and 10. I would like to know like what did Vince do? What did the one thing?
The other guy did a lot more in this one when he was
Okay.
on. I forget. He did actually say how much he did, and how much the other guy did. He said with this one he needed to be behind the camera a lot more. So
yeah,
that's why when in the credits they're both credited.
Yeah, I liked how they did that. That was really cool. That they didn't like so they didn't do like a Steve Dash type thing.
Lorena Faze jumped in. She says, "Hello, I'm not actually here because I'm still logged in at work right now. I appreciate it."
Yeah, my phone
died.
So
we're doing a little review of Never Hike Alone 2, and earlier we had the owner of Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse. I fucked up the name of this place so many times but right on.
Yeah, my phone died, so I can't read the comments along. But the only thing if I just had a critique, I didn't like how Rick Cologne was. He wasn't that egotistical, smart ass he was in Jason Lives.
But don't you think he would have matured over? I mean, we're 30 years later.
Yeah, I guess, but you know, I did like that he had the. You know,
the events of Part 6 would put that ego in check, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you know, we didn't get to see much of him in Never Hike in the Snow, and it, you know, him hiding the fact that the kid got killed kind of made him like a villain per se, you know.
Yeah, but I think in that he was worried that if he started talking about it, like kind of on the Freddy versus Jason thing, if we talk about it, then this is going to grow and grow and grow, and he was fairly certain that it was Tommy all along. So
yeah. You know, I was watching an Instagram live the other night, and between two cosplayers, and the one guy is like, "Well, for all that money, they should have put CGI in there."
Who wants CGI anyway?
And I'm sorry, it was they raised about $300,000. If they use CGI, there's a good chunk of your money.
Right.
You know?
Nobody wants CGI.
No.
Actually, they did have some CGI in that movie, according to somebody that was talking about it. Don't remember who somebody is.
Okay.
But, yeah, I heard that they did use some CGI, but of course, like you said, the cost of it very limited.
I'll have to go back and see if I can pick it out. Like I liked they had Douglas Tate as the one deputy, and he met a demise.
It goes Jason carrying his head.
Nice little nod. And then James Sweet, the director of Jason Rising, played the other deputy.
Oh, no. We definitely agree with you, Lorena. Lorena says, I'll throw it on here for you. She says, disagree. I'll take practical over CGI every time, but I'm an old grump. No, we as well would take practical over CGI. But
I hate like when they're shooting guns. You lost that Easter. I
don't know what it is, but
I hate when they shoot guns and they don't use like the what are they called? Like the splat things, you know, the packs, and it's CGI and it just looks so bad. But yeah, I'm all for practical effects, you know, like that's why I like the new Star Wars stuff, because they do more practical effects when they can. You know?
Yeah, it's so it hardly ever works with CGI. Like you could spot it a mile away. Like in The Exorcist, when she starts to bleed.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that was fake. You knew it was CGI, and it looked horrible.
Yeah. So
how hard would it have been to make real blood there?
Yeah. So we had James Sweet as the other deputy. He was the director of Jason Rising, another
great fan film.
Yeah.
Now, I had many problems with that. So if I'm rating it as like a film, I rated it lower because I didn't like. There's just a lot of things I didn't like. I don't want to get
there was some cheese moments.
I love watching the movie, and I had a great time watching it.
It's a good follow-up to part 4 if you wanted to say like nothing ever happened after part 4. You know, that's a good one. Now, if in my fanboy world, what I would have loved to have is like a cameo at the end by Jessica Cook to come back as Megan.
Of course.
Yeah, but
that's impossible.
I just loved how they tied up the story. It was a great story to end. Tommy's character in the fan film world.
Mm-hmm.
And
would you have preferred Tommy to not make it, them to kill each other?
No, I probably would have been upset if they killed Tommy because he's been through so much,
Right.
and I just would have felt like if he was like, say, fight to the death, I would have been upset because he lost his mom. There's no mention of his sister, but yeah,
His dog ran away.
Yeah.
Gordon got out of Dodge.
Yeah, poor Gordon. So yeah, and you know what? And it's sad because, hopefully we'll get a feature film in the upcoming years. And Vince is pretty much, I would say, probably done with this story.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of work he puts into that.
That's the thing. He does so much work and can't make any money off of it.
Yeah. I mean, the guy deserves to be like, I always said, as soon as I saw Never Hike Alone, he needs to help with a feature film or be a director
Absolutely.
or a writer or something,
Or just to be there on set to say, no, this wouldn't work this way.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
So now with Vince closing this chapter, it's going to unfortunately leave a door open for all these new fan films to come out. Like there's this one coming out now. I've seen the mold of the mask. It looks cool.
You talking about the Neon Fear?
Yes.
I all they did was type Jason AI futuristic.
JV13 is the one guy. And there's this other guy. Okay, so there's another fan film coming out, and they're going to do Savini Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly there's going to be 2 other horror characters in it, like a battle royal at Camp Crystal Lake. It was like just announced, but I want to see this Neon Jason because they raised a lot of money and put out a very lackluster B footage trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it, but I really thought it was a total scam. I didn't even think any movie was coming.
So did I, because they raised
those pictures. I seen them before they posted them from somebody else.
Yeah, they were all AI. They were all AI photos.
Yeah, they are. Somebody posted. I think Dave Brown posted that like a year before they even put it up. Like, look at these cool AI photos of these, in the future Jason, whatever. And so I knew I'd seen them before. And I was like, if they're just stealing other people's, and AI is, you didn't even do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I seen that they made the mold of the one mask.
It looks pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. But to me.
But it's one of the masks, and they're talking about doing 50. And
that's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a lot of money. And you're going to have to have at least another. You're going to have the hero and then a stunt. Because if you're making that movie on one hawk alone and that breaks during production, forget about it.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, everything. The one good thing I was happy about Never Hike Alone 2, he didn't have the footsteps. That was the only thing I didn't like about Never Hike Alone was the boom, 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 boom. And when I was wearing the costume on Friday, because of the hood, it kind of like snugged on my ears. So when I was walking, I heard, but I had a lot of great feedback with that costume. A lot of people never heard of Never Hike Alone. So it was my time to, talk about Vince's movie and spread the word. And
oh, you looked great, man. Like I was, when I had him on, I had some pictures of you and then I had some pictures of him in the costume, and I couldn't tell the difference.
Thank you. That's a big compliment.
You looked really good.
Yeah, someone even commented that looks better than the fan film. Like, no.
Was that hood? Is that a hood made for Ghost Jason? Or
it is.
Okay.
I got it from Corey Kaufman. It's from, I forget the name of the studio. He's from Brazil. He actually made Dave's Part 2 Unmasked one. Do you remember that from Blair?
Yeah, I almost bought that. He was trying to sell it, and I just we couldn't afford it at the time.
It's really good, and what I like about it, it gives me that motion. Like if you saw the video Jared made of him interviewing me with the NES Jason, I like how it's form fitting because I have that motion.
Right.
I don't have that motion in all my hawk or my hoods, but I love that I can get that full rotation.
Right, like the The part 7 I got from Jim Ingram.
Mhm.
That one's like real tight and form fitting, but the one I got from New Kind of Fear, it's bigger and like it's
Which one did you get from New Kind of Fear? Which hood?
the paramedic, the Roy.
Oh, okay, okay. Roy one. Is that the one where it has his face too?
No, I didn't get that because I wanted to wear it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's a lot easier to wear when you can see stuff. Because when I'm in this part 7, I have really no vision and no hearing.
We gotta cut the eyes out a little bit. That's what I did.
I know that's what I was thinking, but it's like I like the way it looks so much, and I don't want to mess it up. So I'll just suffer. Because I think I'm gonna wear it on Halloween, and then that'll probably just stay over there on the wall.
There you go.
But I'm gonna get another one from him with the face cut out.
Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of stuff from that guy. He does great work.
Yeah, I got my Jason Goes to Hell. It's all done.
You got your Jason Goes to Hell. So did freaking Kane Hodder.
Yeah, how about
that?
How
cool is that? The guy making your costumes made Kane Hodder's.
I did help facilitate that in a very small way, and Jim is forever grateful. But I'm like, dude, I just gave you the contact information. Right. You did the rest.
Yeah, you did. My buddy says NES Jason is awesome. Yes,
thank you.
I have one of those too.
Unfortunately, I wore that at Night of Terror, and that was going to be my final costume. Mm-hmm. But because the Midway, they have like the overhead lights, I couldn't show off the glow effect.
Oh.
You saw me behind the scenes, yes, because it's like total pitch black. Mm-hmm. But it was too bright, unfortunately, and I had to charge him for like 3 hours too. Yeah. But yeah, I get a lot of great compliments with that part, that NES one, and again, even though Part 8's not my favorite movie, that costume I think fits me the best because I get because there's no latex to hinder my motions, But yeah, so Jim finished my Jason Goes to Hell. It was a while for him to do it because he had other orders and I wasn't in a rush. I put everything on. The damn hood is way too big for my head.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Because I put the hock on and went bloop. So I sent it back to him, and he put more latex on it.
Oh, cool.
It was a lot thicker, but still a little bit bigger. So he said, "You know what? Do a raffle with it, and I'll get you a new mold." So, that'll be one. And then he's starting a new prototype costume for me next week.
Sweet.
So we're not announcing it until I debut it.
There he's
like, we're gonna do it next week. I'm like, dude, you don't have to start now. Take your time. He's all. Do you
know what that coffin dummy he was raffling went for?
Someone bought it before he even raffled it.
I know he said, but
I don't know. No, it looked good too.
He looks so cool, man. Yeah. I was definitely thinking about getting in on that, but I fell asleep before he went on anyway.
Right. Yeah,
because I work like 9 days a week and 100 hours a day, and life sucks.
But yeah, I'm sad that the Never Hike Alone series is closed.
I'm hoping that we get that animated.
The
Ghost in the Fog, right?
Yeah, because he did.
Well, I think he said it's not going to be what he wanted it to be, and there's just things, but yeah, it looks. I'm sad as well. I would love to see him. I'd like to see him do anything, like any movie, period. I mean, the guy is so super talented. His studio is great. Like, because when I had him on, I wanted to do as much research as I can. So I went through every Womp Stomp video. I watched all of them.
Did you watch The Spirit of Haddonfield?
No, it wasn't on there.
I wasn't on there?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, type in Spirit of Haddonfield.
I'll check that out. That's the Halloween thing you did?
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember him talking about it now that you say it, but it wasn't on there.
And I have the original Ghost Jason Hawk.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it was a prototype. So when he made when he first came up with the vision of Ghost Jason, he just took a NECA Hawk and just weathered it up a little bit more. Part 3, and I think you can find it on his channel. He made a Universal monster type trailer, and it was Jason versus the Wolfman. And
I went through all the videos in his
channel. Okay, I'll see if I can dig it up for you.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
But he was unloading some stuff, and He's part of a group chat I am on Instagram, and he every once in a while he'll chime in because it's a bunch of different cosplayers, younger cosplayers. One of them actually worked on the movie with him, Kaiden Ritchie. He helped out with the special effects, but he may not get right back, but you know, he will give people advice, like if they're putting together a ghost face costume or ghost Jason. But he was unloading this hawk, and he's like, I'm looking to get rid of it if anyone's interested. And I sent him a message and I said, how much do you want for it? And he said, how much would you give me? I said, it's probably worth this amount. He's like, that's what I was going to sell it for. And there you go.
There you go.
And he wrote in there like, SJJ, please take care of my babies.
I'm sure it's in good hands. Yeah. But I noticed on the one I bought, the one on eBay, that it said Horror FX Design.
Oh, that's who made my hawk. You need anything from them, go to them. I mean, his.
And I'm going to. I seen that they do they do an awesome NES Jason. I want to get an NES Jason like without the chevrons, though. They're more like it wasn't an actual game.
Well, if you want an NES one, I don't know how much the price was, but my friend Tony McDonald, he's made at least 4 of my hawks.
Yeah,
and if you're looking to go just a little bit cheaper, I can give you his contact information.
Right, we'll do that later. Yeah,
but
they also had that the NES Axe.
That's where I got my NES from.
Okay, you got
yeah. Basically, it's the Part 8 Axe, but he just colored it, the NES color.
It's still awesome, better than I could do.
Yeah, I've gotten the Never Hike Alone Axe from them. They made you remember my hybrid 6.7? Yeah. They did the belt, the sheath, machete, and the dart pouch.
Cool.
So yeah.
But did they had a credit in the movie?
They did.
And I was wondering, did they make his mask?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a combination of, I think, more so for Never Hike Alone 2.
Yeah.
But Topher made a bunch of the ghosts for Never Hike in the Snow.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. So
I have stuff from both of those guys. That's
and
good
they're
stuff.
just like Ingram. You reach out to Jeremy, and he gets back to you. Like you're not waiting like 2 days. So Jeremy is really he's a really good dude, and he started making a lot more props for like Part 3. Like he's like, yeah, I'm making a spear gun for Part 3. I'm like, well, I have a spear gun, but I need the spear. He's like, oh, I can make that one for you too. He does like the fire poker with the burnt, the orange end. He does the Part 6 post. I mean, the stuff.
Yeah, I've seen all that stuff.
Yeah, he's
great
really
work.
Good. Yeah,
great work. So, all right, so back to Never Hike Alone 2. What would you grade that? Like a letter grade?
An A.
It's an A?
Yeah.
So if you had to mix that into the rankings of in my opinion, I'm gonna go with a B plus. I'm not gonna give it an A.
Okay.
But it's still amazing. I've seen it more than once already. I'm gonna see it.
If I had to rank it out of the 3, it'd be 2.
Oh, I was gonna ask where would you fit it into like the actual movies.
Well, see, that's a tricky thing because even though it's a fan film,
I think it's good enough to be talked about.
Oh, well, absolutely. But then when you start talking like that, you get some of the people like, ooh, that's tough because I mean, my top 4 are 1 through 4 in that order.
Yeah,
so
in that order, okay.
Yeah, so I would say after my top 4, it'd probably be 5. Like the Never Hike Alone series will come right after that. Yeah,
it's up there for me too. I have it 1 through 7 are my favorites, but not in that order.
Right.
It just take too much to get into it.
Yeah.
But I would have it. I think right after 7. That's where I'd put it.
After 7, not before 7.
I like 7. 7 is my 7th favorite.
Okay.
So this would be my 8th favorite.
Okay, yeah. Now, in the Never Hike Alone universe, I would do Never Hike Alone, Part 2, and then Snow in that order.
Yeah. Well, because Snow was just a little snippet.
Yeah. What would be
wasn't
really
enough.
cool if they could do, and it would probably be hard to do, but the definitive edit. You know how like
All three?
there's that Godfather edit of part 1 and
There's a Godfather
part
edit that I seen on TV once.
2. Yes.
I can't find it anywhere. It's called Godfather: The Complete Epic.
Yeah.
And it shows Hyman Roth as a kid. Did you ever see that one? Yes.
No. Oh,
Yes, I
wow.
found this. It was on Thanksgiving one year.
Oh wow.
Never found it since. Can't find it anywhere, and it's the best version of that movie. They
No,
mixed
not Hyman
into-
Roth as a kid. You're talking about DeVito Corleone as a kid.
No, I'm talking about Hyman Roth as a kid.
Really?
When he first starts working for Vito. Yeah, it's him. Which one of the kids? It was Abe Vigoda's character, I think.
Okay.
Or no, it wasn't his character. It was the other guy. The take the gun, leave the cannoli.
Oh yeah.
It was him. It might have been all three of them.
Okay.
But then Hyman Roth was there too, and that's when he first started working for him. But they took one and mixed it with two. It was just amazing.
Interesting.
But find it if you can find it. Let me know. I'll buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It came on Thanksgiving one year. Never heard of it again.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I know it was called Godfather: The Complete Epic. Is the way it was worded.
All right, I'll do some research and see if I can find that. Yeah. So all right, yeah. So I mean that's our pseudo review.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Vince and the crew, and it's just a sad day in the fan film world because I don't know what we're going to get next.
Lorena says she might be able to get that Godfather, and she'll PM me if she does, and if she does, I'll PM you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah. I mean, I like some of these fan films. I like Jason Rising. Like I said, great popcorn movie. It was great from start to finish. Like you can nitpick some shit, but effects were great. I love the way they brought Pamela back. In my opinion, I mean, this has to exist in an alternate universe because Alice is dead.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Her corpse is in part 2. It's over. So if you bend reality and she lived for an alternate universe, then it's okay.
Well, they do it in Marvel and DC. Why not?
Right. So why not?
Yeah.
I love Dave's movie because it's got the feel of part 1 and 2, and it's got like that old school kind of thing going on, and really cool that way. And like this one is just amazing, and I love it, and I will definitely watch it a bazillion more times. And
yeah, I can't wait till like 2024 when they start putting out the Blu-rays, because I'm getting 2 Blu-rays. I'm getting because I did so many different backings. I'm getting the original one, then I'm getting the Tommy Jason dual one.
Well, you got to have that.
Yeah, and then I got a couple posters coming my way. So
right, I'm going to get on there and order a Blu-ray and a T-shirt eventually. Help support him, and I encourage all of you guys to do that too. He's got the Indiegogo up there for the rest of the duration of this year. So go on there, and JP Cross from A Killer's Confession, who was on here, I got him to watch that.
Nice.
And he's going to order some stuff from him too,
and
get some stuff for him. But we're going to wrap this up because it's been an hour and 15 minutes between both of you. Thank you so much for coming on to pinch hit for Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I just figured, because as soon as Vaughn said he could only do like 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, well, that ain't going to be enough. And
right.
Ryan ain't going to be around for this. And I'm not going to sit here and talk to myself for a half hour. I don't think I'm good enough to do that yet. I was going to give it a go if I couldn't get a hold of you. Like I was going to stuttering and shit. So good thing I didn't have to do that. But I want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody in the comments and watch us, like and share the page. Go check out Vaughn's shit. Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, Nightmare Cleveland, great haunted houses. We did reviews for them. A haunted Halloween Haunts 365. Check them out. Horror Shed. Check them out. And so we'll see you next week. I have no idea what we're doing, but we'll be on here doing some shit. But thanks again, Brian, man. I'll talk to you later, all right?
All right, take care.
All right, have a good day.
You too, bye.